doing my best to make you part of Versus the Rest.
Hey, welcome back to Versus the Rest. This is Phil. So today I'm going to watch a video from Jimmy Dore. It's called The Biggest Vax Mandate Flip-Flop Ever by News Host. Can't wait to see that coming here.
There's been a little bit of a shifting narrative going on when it comes to certain things related to this here.
What?
COVID protocols and whatnot. Let's take a look. I'm just going to play this right out the gate. Okay.
Technical problems happen to anyone.
Set this up, and you can hear the rhetoric then and the rhetoric now. Take a listen.
Mandating vaccines like this, like they're doing in France, to enable them to open up is a very sensible approach.
Is it?
What?
It doesn't prevent transmission.
How old is this, first of all?
It never was tested to prevent transmission.
So when I got vaccinated,
yep,
I assumed I was going to get extra, like not having to take my shoes off at the airport privileges.
Yeah, everybody did.
Take my mask off.
Yeah, and everything's going back.
Nothing
very
changed.
Quickly, what happened?
I had to put my mask back on.
Okay.
Very sensible approach. I've heard many commentators on this channel over the past week strongly objecting to restaurants and retail outlets mandating vaccines for customers. If you're a customer going into a store, you want to know that the people working there are vaccinated.
Why?
If you're in a restaurant, you want to know that
Am I not vaccinated? Why would I want to know that they are if I'm vaccinated?
Because then you're safe.
Doesn't it work?
You're safe that way.
Because they thought it gave.
If you're in a restaurant, you want to know that the people sitting alongside you, breathing in the same air as you, have also been vaccinated.
Wait, what do you mean breathing in? That's a very subtle but important difference than saying people exhaling. She's talking about them just being alive. If she was saying exhaling, I was like, oh, I'm afraid I might get it. That's okay, good, sorry.
No.
Company, News Corp, mandates vaccines for employees who want to physically return to the office. Federal government is paying compensation to hundreds of Australians who have vaccine injuries from the COVID jab. 3,501 people have applied for vaccine compensation, and this out of the 66 million vaccine doses given. Some of the COVID injuries include life-altering heart inflammations.
I think the biggest problem usually for the injured is just having a doctor agree. I'm sorry, but this is a religion here. It's a cult. There are many of them, many people that believe in these procedures and actually believe that they are outside of being testable, outside of asking for better. So, yeah.
Damaged capillaries and autoimmune disorders. There are also thousands who've applied for compensation and are waiting to hear back. They are Orwellian-style laws that give a government entity the power to control free speech.
Things have changed over there. You know what I'm saying? You want to go back and go,
that sounds better.
That's a great thing they show, dude.
She got this job because she looks like Jacinda, the old leader who's now got
that's New Zealand.
Jacinda.
I thought because
she looks like
she looks like a real woman.
She could have been like on a Joss Whedon show.
Jacinda looks like a man.
I know so many people work in it, and if you know any, but I know you do too. People that work in this kind of media stuff. Yeah. Half of them are not even open, just ahead of open micers of whatever they're doing, and they're so totally paid spokesman actors.
Of course they are.
They don't even think of it.
No. That's just their job.
It's been that way for quite a long time.
To be fair, to defend people in journalism, they're supposed just to bring the news. They're not supposed to give their own opinion. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. That's why I react. And that's the way people like their news now, I guess. Does it make it more biased? I guess it does, kind of, because you want to hear the news or hear information from somebody that kind of thinks like you. Not always. I mean, you want to be challenged once in a while. But these spokespeople, that's not what they're asked for. And I think there should be a true journalism that's still there. It should, I don't say that I am journalism. I'm just like a reaction music channel. So, but these people are supposed to bring in news, and that's what I learned at school. That when you do news, you don't put any of your own opinions; just bring the information. So, I think that's what they should do. Not not
It's like
swayed.
narcissism. It's a willing to get your own career ahead. But you even said yourself, Kurt, there's a lot of people in D.C. who do this type of work. They can't sleep at night. They're addicted to so much drugs. Just to get by, to do what they're doing, they have to almost give themselves this numb feeling to say some of the shit they say.
I'm sure. It makes sense.
That numb feeling. Sean Hannity, I didn't appreciate what an authentic scumbag he is, because he's been the same absolute shameless
With the
scumbag.
CIA lapel?
She's switching up her scumbaggery.
Yes.
Because she doesn't know who she is yet as a scumbag.
Yeah.
No,
listen, there's a point, and you even said at one point in 2021, you did your thing.
And again, I mean, she was presented with new information. Maybe she just changed her idea. I think it's a good thing. I think that changing your views when presented with new information, even if it contradicts what you believe in, and changing your stance, I think it's a good thing. Probably growing, unless I don't know if. I think it's much easier being fooled when you only know one side of a story, one side of the medal. Once you know both and you have more information, I think it's much easier to come down with a right conclusion.
There's a video of me in the very beginning telling people when I lost my Uncle Bobby to take this serious and wear your mask. So everybody was out there at one point or another who just went along until we read some books, read some information, and then maybe we got our head straight because we saw, wait a second, something's a little bit odd here. But the biggest thing for me was when you were told that you don't even have to take your shoes off anymore, that you don't have to put your mask back on, that you got this here, you complied, you can go back to normal. When they told you, we were just kidding. You're going to still have to wear your mask. You're gonna
and there's a lot of people here that they told, I take the shot just because I want to travel. And then like 3 months after, everybody that travels still had to do the test. It's like, oh, great. That was really worth it.
Still have to take your shoes off. You still have to do all this stuff. That's what got to me and said, wait a second, something's going on. And then you take
who's not
2 days worth of studying and you find everything.
Anybody's not a moron.
He's right.
You know, it dawned on me when I got it, and then I got COVID anyway. I started to suspect maybe it didn't work that well. Now, it's safe and effective. No one's denying that.
The CDC and FDA said that's safe and effective, Kurt.
Yeah, so just put it in.
Thank you.
It's not going to prevent you from getting COVID, but you'll clog the hospital up.
It was never tested.
It's like the DHS that says it was the most secure election in all the elections ever made.
Oh, of course.
Our elections stink here.
None of them ever were.
Shari, her name is.
Shari? Okay, that's
waiting to hear back. They are Orwellian-style laws that give a government entity the power to control free speech.
Sky.
This censorship has already happened with
she says it.
COVID mandates and vaccines. No government, Liberal or Labor, can be trusted to be the arbiter of what's the truth, what's factual, and what's misinformation.
The arbiter of my capillaries.
That's the capillaries of my arbiter. That's what she said.
You can't
that passes on TV. That's not too bad.
She was singing a song, and she was singing it so confidently, and now she's like, oops.
We've
had Wuhan, the Hunter Biden laptop, COVID vaccines.
Any laws by doing that?
Oh, that was a terrible view,
I'm so sorry to hear you've been through all of this.
Oh, yeah, that's her.
Good on you for your incredible courage, for standing up to authority. And you want to know...
I'm so sorry I had to be part of this, even though I was part of that apparatus that shamed you and put you down in 221.
She was. Did she say sorry?
She's actually less bad than the ones that are like whoever made that Gillette
You give
commercial.
her some credit for coming forth like this now and stuff.
Exactly. I think that's what's most important.
You just load what you want into her head and she says it. That's the job. They're cast news.
How do we know that? Maybe she's one of those people.
Because I've met a million of these people. They're not different.
Yeah, but every once in a while you get a, get fired. Yeah. Well, maybe she, it is Sky, right? It is Sky News, so I guess there's a little bit
Sky News used to play me in Kyle's Biden stuff.
To authority. You want to know that the people sitting alongside you, breathing in the same air as you, have also been vaccinated.
By the way, in fairness, she might have thought that it worked.
She might have thought it worked. Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
It's really
because that back then, that's when it was brought. It was brought as in, we got to force everybody to take it because that's the only way to defeat the sickness and to stop the spread. It's sad that it wasn't true. Actually, I wouldn't have gotten it anyway because I had COVID. I caught it, and I don't care about catching it up. I mean, still be careful. You don't want to be sick. Nobody likes to be sick, but I mean, it's not a death sentence for somebody at my age. With no comorbidities, but I mean, maybe that's the information she was given, and she actually believed that information. She didn't do her own research, because I mean that's evil.
But I mean, it just doesn't stop you, as the great Bill Gates once said, doesn't stop you from getting it.
No.
And it's once again, this puts the average mortality risk over the last 3 years for those above 20 at 0.089%. And that's because, once again, when we go back to the initial strain, the alpha and the beta, much stronger, more harmful than
the alpha.
Delta, than Omicron, than all of them. So that number would be even lower if you just kind of separate the different variants. Adding the under 20s reduces it further to 0.065%.
I wouldn't even go by these percentages.
It wasn't until early February when I was in a meeting that experts at the foundation said, there's no way, there's been too much travel without diagnosis for us to contain this. And then at that point, we didn't really understand the fatality rate. We didn't understand that it's...
Well, the news was there. It was already out, and it took about 2 months for people to know the fatality rate. And it dropped after that. And it wasn't that high to begin with. Like, it was slightly lower than influenza when it started.
A fairly low.
So you're going to give back all the money you made on this whole shindig, right? Is that what you're saying, Bill? I screwed up. We didn't know. Moving at the speed of science, give back all the freaking money you made. How about that?
We told you. You knew.
We need the next generation of vaccines. But the percentage, even go by the percentages, low or high, I know people, and I bet you know people. Everybody knows somebody that died when COVID Delta was out.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know that many people that died from the flu. I don't. Yeah. What happens is, for some people, it was absolutely deadly. And if you're going to average them together with the people that wouldn't even know they had it, I think that's why percentages aren't as helpful, other than as an overall, should I take a chance or not?
No, I think the numbers are there. Like, the more comorbidities that you had, the more at a higher age. But from what I remember, most countries, the median death age for people with COVID was higher than the median death age, overall. So, it was 80 something. Even in countries where, let's say, the life expectancy was 78, and the median people that died from COVID was 81.
Yeah.
So,
what's our disclaimer? Tell us.
The one I've been saying, that it's safe and effective?
Yes.
Why would you have to tell me
the CDC, the FDA says it's safe and effective.
Why would you
100%. We know that.
I'm going after this to get another one. They said I should even do that, but that's how much I'm into it.
Well, Kurt, thank you for doing your part. I expect to see the Instagram.
I don't want you to in the same air as me. No,
got you. Well, once we sit down at the table, then we're in the safe zone, guys.
Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Tampa.
All right. So, I appreciate when somebody in the news or anybody that changes their idea. She didn't exactly said that she was wrong or anything, but I guess she probably does know, or does she remember? Do people even remember what they say? So that's something else. Sometimes I tell people, well, yeah, don't you remember that when we talked about in 2020 that was your opinion back then? And they're like, no, that wasn't my opinion. Or oh, well, I don't know, the science changed, but then again, they don't remember what they said or something. It's why? I don't know if it's our brains that do that just erase what is bad, what is wrong. And when we did something that wasn't to our advantage, I don't feel like that. I try to work on my errors, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's just a normal human fallacy. So, all right. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video with me. And remember that we are versus the rest. I hope you have a nice day. See you. Bye.